due to the ignorance of our host. Parental discretion is advised.
Welcome back to How Did He Get So Good, episode 280. That's right, 280. We made it to 280. We made it, people. We made it. We made it. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for putting up with me, by the way. 280, dude. 280. The problem is not the 280. It's that big of a number, right? The thing to be amazed by is the fact that with your help, with the help of our guests, and obviously for... You know, it doesn't matter what day I come here. There's always music right outside our studio. I remember back when we used to come here and people know that there was a recording studio on this side. Now nobody cares. I come here on a Thursday, there's people dancing. I come here on a Wednesday, there's old people doing do-si-do. I come here, last episode we recorded with Billy, there was drums. And today, Saturday, drums right outside of this. Anyway, what was I saying? So the 280 is not that big of a number, right? You're like, 280. I mean, it's whatever. There's podcasts out there with thousands of episodes, but it's the fact that we have never, and by we I mean obviously not only just me, but like I did 200 and plus episodes with that one guy that I work with. I can't remember his name, Justin. So we were here for so many years, and we just put something together out of the top of our heads just to entertain you, and that's something that I kept on doing throughout these episodes, and here I am. I feel like I'm taking a break from a guest, awesome guest lately, awesome guests. I've mentioned it before, right? Everybody from people that do finances to people who do work with the homeless, Matt being a nutritionist and a fitness guy, and Becca doing whatever it is that she does. I had a pilot. I went to the chiropractor today. Not today, Thursday, and I just threw it out there, man. I'm like, hey, would you do a podcast? He goes, yeah, absolutely. I come out and we can talk about being a chiropractor, and the reason why I had the idea is this. As I mentioned before, I hurt my back a few years ago to the point where I couldn't move my left foot. I couldn't go up and down with it, and I was in between. Hey, you can either do physical therapy and it will take months for you to turn to, or it will take some time, or you can do a surgery and then you'll be out for only 6 months. 6 months? Hey, I'm sorry, my last name is not Musk. I can't just take 6 months from work. Might as well just give you everything I own. So I decided to do physical therapy, and I ended up with this doctor, and with him and his knowledge and the things that he has in his what do you call it? It's not his office, right? His shop. I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you call it. His building. I don't know what you call it. But yeah, so I got better, and then I continued to do ballet, and that helped me out too. But I ended up being hurt again, and I don't know how I did this. You know how sometimes you get that little feeling right in between. What do you call this area right here where the fuck gutters are? like that area that divides your nutsack to your leg, the armpit of your leg, if you must, right? Like that little thing that gets greasy and gets so much friction you can light up a cigarette. That's the area that I'm talking about. Every now and then your bone feels like it's about to pop, and it does pop, but sometimes it just takes a minute to where you're like, ugh. And it's one of those pains that hurt, but it hurts for like 2 seconds once it's done, right? You're like, oh, and then it was like, oh, okay, now I feel good. So I started feeling that pain like it was just about to pop, but no matter what I did, oh, there's the drums again. But no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to pop. And so I was like, whatever, it'll pop here and there. And then on the, it's so funny, in my office chair, obviously I have a chair that swivels, right? Just like these stools. And then I will put my legs on the ground and then try to spin it to where my hips are spinning, but not my legs. And then I would try to pop it, and it hurt so bad, and I couldn't. And then every now and then there was like a shooting pain. It would go all the way through my leg, and then I would go, ugh. And I was like, there's got to be something going on there. So I went to the doctor last Thursday. I haven't gone with him in like years because. Back when I was doing once a month with him, I had the insurance through the ex-wife, so it was a lot cheaper, and they could do the decompression table, which is where I sit down, and then they'll strap my chest and then like my hips, and then this table will literally split, like stretching my spine. Right, and then kind of, make such a relief that it like I say, that's what helped me to be able to get rid of the pain when I hurt my back. But now with my insurance, that's not included, right? And I went from $10 to $25, but that's whatever. So I go back, and obviously the doctor's there, and his wife happens to be one of the girls from the front desk, and so we recognized each other. We're like, hey, what's going on? And funny, they both ask, how are you guys doing? And I'm like, well, there's no guys anymore, right? It's by myself. I'm here by myself. And also, it was after I got divorced that I was still coming here, so you guys should know, right? Like, what are we doing here? Anyway, so we recognized each other. We talked for a minute, and then he adjusts me, and he gave me some information about this. The cool thing about it is I've been going to him, or I went to him for so many years for the same problem that I started thinking, hey, if I have a problem with my leg, are we going to do like different types of cracking, popping lock? So I gave him my story, and he instantly like stood right next to. By the way, this guy is huge black belt in jiu-jitsu, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So he stood by me, and he wants me to use him as a what do you call it? A crutch? Is that a crutch? What do you call it? Not crutches, right? Like a crutch, crutch for balance. And so he was making me do some things with my leg, and he goes, oh, I think I know what it is. And so he lays me down and cracks my entire body like he used to back in, years ago. Thank you. And so then he grabbed my leg, and he started moving it in places. And it's like, all right, try to go against the movement that I'm doing. And then I would do it, and then he would grab it again. And like I said, this guy is a jiu-jitsu master, right? So he would like chuck hold my leg and then bring it towards him, and then he wanted me to bring it back, but he got to a point when it's like I couldn't. It was so painful that I couldn't bring it back. And so he's like, I know what it is. And so he started telling me some exercises that I can do, some stretches. Here's the thing, dude. Your boy's not gonna be the guy that is gonna wake up in the morning and do stretches, right? Like back in the day when I was less than a year ago, when I was in the field, like that's one of the things that they told you to do. Like you need to stretch, so you don't get like a muscular problem while you're working, right? Where you're getting on and off of your machine, and while you're kneeling or you're shoveling or you're doing whatever, you need to be able to stretch in the morning. There's some companies. Company One, by the way, shout out to Company One. They do that, or they used to back when I was there. every single morning, the guys would get together in like some type of a circle jerk, and then they will stretch their hands and their arms, and then they'll do the legs. And I mean, it's some people take it that serious, and some people take it as a procedure to, before work starts. So, but I'm not gonna sit there and do my stretches from side to side with my leg before I drive to my office job. I mean, know what I mean? So, but he told me what to do, and he was explaining, and then at the end he made me lay down, and then he grabbed my leg from my foot, and then he started like wiggling, and then whang, like yanked on it to where I felt something popped. I don't know what, I still have the pain, but something popped. But it felt so good. I'm like, oh, like it's, and that's when I realized, okay, yeah, it may be, like logic to you, but I was like, okay, I can see him saying like, oh, your leg hurts, we're gonna do these things. Oh, your back hurts, we're gonna do these things. Or your arm hurts, or we're gonna do these things. So he I'm not gonna be that kind of guy who's like, well, I felt better instantly. But I will say this: when I got to his place, I couldn't lift my leg. Like if I'm standing up, I couldn't lift my knee up to my chest because it would hurt so bad. And the next day, I which is yesterday, I went to this is Saturday morning, by the way. The next day I was talking to Justin in his office, and then I for some reason I lifted, and I was like, oh shit, like I can lift my leg now. And that was kind of cool to realize that I could do it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is cool. So so that felt good, and going back again to guest, he said he would do the podcast. He was like, hey, let me I said, would you be interested? And he's like, yeah, for sure, I'll do it. And over the years, we've kind of developed this quote unquote friendship, right? Because I've seen him for so many years that he's just like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And if you know me, I'm a very open guy. So I'm like, so I talked to him, and obviously first of all, he used to take care of me and my ex-wife. So he knows that I'm married, and he knows that now. He knows that I got divorced. He knew that I have a podcast, and he knows, that I do construction, and, that I have a foot fetish. Just kidding. And so that things like that, like it's a person that I quote unquote know, right? Because I've seen him for so many years. And so he takes care of me. So he said he'll do the podcast. And then my cardiologist said he'll do the podcast, but he's like, he basically, his assistant told me he's interested in doing it, but like way in the early fall. I go, okay, we'll see. Okay, sure. So we'll figure it out. I'll have my assistant call your assistant. But yeah, so I've been having some cool guests, and not so cool like Billy, but I'm happy with the people that have come to the show and talk about who they are and what they do. It's pretty cool. Shout out to Steven, my friend Steven. I spoke with him a couple episodes ago. Such an awesome guy. I love that guy. So classy, so talented, so smart. I played with him for years. And then I also want to have the friends and the boys. Well, I had Eric. Speaking of Eric, last night was his fight. He, as you guys know, he came here and spoke about him going for the title last night, Friday the 31st. It didn't happen. He lost. He couldn't make it. He couldn't make it. That sounds like he passed away. He didn't get it. He lost. He got tapped out. But again, it doesn't take the mentality of this gentleman of saying if he's 45 years old, he gets in such a strict diet and regimen of working out and going to the gym twice a day. And so shout out to him, man. He looked phenomenal. There was a couple of times where he he turned on the guy. But it was kind of a, first of all, he got moved to, remember when he was here, he talked about how he was the co-main. Well, something happened with the main event that he ended up, they turned his podcast, his match into the main event. So he ended up being the main event, and as the heavyweight, it was kind of cool. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way. The fight was only one match. I mean, the fights ended up early too. They started early, dude. 5:30 on a Friday. I mean, I get it, right? The next day, today is UFC fights. So, but I don't know. I don't know. And then I also talk about that episode when I went and saw the fights, and I ended up with Dre's wife and kiddo. And there was so many fights that you're like, oh, well, how many fights are left? You're like 9 o'clock. It's like, well, there's 7 more fights. You're like, what? But no, these ones didn't seem like they went for too long. They started like around 5:30. I think I got there around like a little earlier than 7. And I got to see probably 3 or 4 matches. I got to see the Quifraca, which it was we were, I swear it, we were right across each other, right in the center of the arena. So it was like, I want to go and say hi, but it's like, do I go a mile this way or a mile this way to go see him? And and the fights ended up so fast that all I could do was to say hi to his wife, and that was because she walked across the arena and say hi. But it was good, dude. I was hanging out with Justin, his wife, his kids. Obviously, one of his kids, like he said when he was here, is so into jiu-jitsu and MMA, and she's a little fucking savage, enjoying every single match, every single fight. His mom was there. Dana was there. Oh, Dana, she was there. Justin's brother was there, which I Justin and I worked with him for a few years too, and it's good to see him. Sarge was there. Sarge Hellbach was there. His beautiful wife. And who else? Our boy Jason Bound was there. And I think that was it, right? Yeah. But yeah, so it's always good to hang out with people. It's always, I will say this, and I want to call him out, even though he doesn't listen. It's nice to see Justin outside of the office, and I feel like since I got the job, we haven't had the chance to do it often, right? So the majority of the time now, when I see him, he's my boss. Like, I don't get to see him outside of the office. So hanging out with him outside of the office, drinking a beer, he kind of takes me. I'm going to cry, by the way. No, but seeing him outside of the office, it kind of takes me back to like, oh, like we used to do this like often, right? Like we used to drink, we used to hang out, and we used to do this. But I get it, dude. His kids are growing. His kids, have one of them is being a dancer, the other one's being a fucking lethal weapon. And he's getting old. He's getting his fuck gutters back. He's working out. He's losing some weight. He's looking like a little fucking papi chulo. And yeah, and it was good to see his mom and his brother, like I said. But yeah, so unfortunately for my man Eric, it didn't happen. He did retire for the second time. He Tom Brady'd us. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he left his gloves in the middle of the ring, which I guess that's what you do. I guess that's the ritual when you retire. Although, like I say, he did it. He's done it before. But yes, and then we also got to see him. By the way, I will say this though. So his fight was the last one, right? And as he was walking out, he walked in front of us, but we were in the seats. So Justin says to me, he says, "Hey, let's go down," because there was not, there's always all these empty seats. Shame on you, fucking people. And so we came down to the bottom, and I think I'm not quite sure because I don't really know the arena when like by heart. But there's this area where the hockey team sits, like this area that is in between the seats and the actual floor. So I jumped it. Mind you, the event is over. Eric just said goodbye. He just walked out. They just interviewed the guy who won. Everybody's off the ring. Everybody's like starting to walk out. We see Eric walk by that little area, and so Justin and I decided to go down, and we jumped in that area. Now, mind you, we're not on the floor. We're in the area before the floor, which is the same level, but it's just a little box thing. And so he walked out, and he kind of he gave us we kind of before I say this, that's what I did when I say hi to Dre's wife. I hopped into that little square, and then I talked to her for like 5 minutes, no problem. And then I go, okay, well then see you, maybe hopefully see you tomorrow, whatever, at the fights. And so I went back up. Now Eric walks out, I go back down, I jump in that same little area, same square with Justin with me. And as he's walking by, I'm getting closer to say, hey, my man, you know us, the result don't matter, but we still love you, right? So he walked out, we wanted to hug him. This fucking Geppetto looking guy that works for the fucking Maverick Center looks to us like we're criminals. And he's like, hey, you guys gotta get out of this area. Go back. And I was this close to say, hey, dude, first of all, calm the fuck down. Second, why does it even matter? The event is over. We're not stealing any. It's a square box. There's nothing to sit on. There's no table. We're not stealing anything. We're just saying hi. And then I also feel bad because by the time so Justin and I jumped in this thing, right? By the time I turn around, every single person that was with us, the brother, the mom, the kids, the wife, they all started jumping into this area just to say hi to Eric. And this guy was like losing his shit. He's like, yo, everybody, you guys gotta get out of here. You do not come here. And I guess I could have just said, obviously I don't want to get in trouble, right? I don't want to get kicked out. But then again, it's like the event is over. And we're not jumping into where the private area is, which is where the tables are. We're just behind this wall thing. And all it is we're saying hi and hugging Eric as he walks out, and we'll get the fuck out of there. It's not like there's no chairs. It's not like we're sitting there. And even if there was chair, the event is over. So he treated us like shit. Like I said, I felt bad because, Dana she just hopped in this thing to say hi, and then she basically had to hop back up. So that put me in a bad mood. Then we left. Sarge Hellbach, I know you listen. You kind of left without saying goodbye. That was kind of shitty. We were talking about having you come to the pod. So hopefully this makes it official. And yeah, then we walked out and we're just kind of like saying goodbye and hugging and shaking hands and shit. And then Eric walks out. By the way, Eric, calm the fuck down, huh? Your fight is over. You see us outside of the fucking building, no shirt on. I'm like, hey, dude. Hey, relax, huh? My man Justin's looking just as good as you. He has a shirt on. I'm like, hey, put your shirt on, huh? How about you put your shirt on? So he put his shirt on. He came, gave us a hug. He's like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm like, no. They're like, it's not about that. It's like, it's always a blast to come see you. It's always a blast to come hang out with you and whatever, man. Like, doesn't change how we see you. You still, I hugged him. I said, listen, man, you're still my fucking hero. The fact that you have that discipline of just saying, okay, from now on, it's training, it's crunch time, right? We're gonna get our shit together, and it happened. So it's fucking awesome. So I'm like, don't worry about that. And then his kid was there, and shout out to Sammy. Sammy was there. For all you guys that know who Sammy is. And then when he came to our little group of people, obviously he started talking to Justin because Justin knows his shit when it comes to fighting, right? So they started talking about some techniques, some things that happened, some things that didn't happen. and then I'm just listening, and then I turned around, and there is like, I don't know, 30, 40 people behind us. We were outside of the Maverick Center, just like on the stairs. And I'm like, oh yeah, like we're just saying goodbye and shit. And then I turn around, there's all these people that were waiting for us to be done so they can say hi to Eric. And I had no idea. I'm like, what's all these people? And I go, oh shit. I'm like, oh, you guys are waiting on us. I'm like, my bad. I have no idea that Eric was that known and loved. Actually, I did. But it was kind of cool to see because everybody was there. Just and another thing was, other fighters from that night came in and say hi and said good luck and whatever happens. He's still a commentator for the local fights. So it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to see that no matter what happens, no matter what the result may be, he's still our Eric Iman. He's still our boy. He's still our friend. He's still our guy. And it doesn't take anything away from what he's done. It doesn't take anything away from what he's gonna do. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to Eric. We didn't get it, dude, but that doesn't mean that we won't see you and hear you again. So that's cool to know. And what else? Like today we were speaking of MMA. Today is UFC fight, UFC night that we call it. You know, when we all get together at a bar and Sue. By the time you guys hear this, it's gonna be too late. But yeah, and I was thinking about this when I was coming here. You whatever you want to call it, but we don't even have a name for it. I'm just calling it this just to talk about it. UFC night. We've been doing like going to a bar named Sue and hanging out with Dre and getting all the friends together. We've been doing this for a hot second, dude. We've been doing this for years. I mean, we're talking about what is it, 3-4 years, maybe 3 years at least of once a month. That's kind of crazy to know, huh? It's always a blast. It's always a blast. We know everybody at the bar. We obviously Dre's there. We kind of you get to hang with the boys and bust each other's balls and roast each other and also eat some badass food and say hi to people and shit. So it's good. They treat us good. You know, we treat them good. And we kind of sit at the same table when we know there's a bunch of people coming. Like tonight, there's a few people that have told me they're coming, and we sit at the same table. We're there just by the projector, so that's cool. That's a cool thing that we have. I wouldn't even say we've created, right? Because it's just I mean, Dre's there just to work, you know, and he just happens to tell us about it, and it so happens that they've known us for so long that we don't pay to get in, or maybe there's not even cover to get in on fight night. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that kind of shit. But it's to me, I look forward to it. I look forward to every UFC fight night to just go and hang out. And who knows, dude? Who knows? Last time I was there, I haven't done this in a while. Last time I was there, I closed the bar. Last time I was there, Dre left before I did. That's how bad I was. But usually, you know, I say this as a joke, but it's really the truth. Unless there's people that are staying and hanging out, to me, when Dre goes up, I just go. I just leave because I'm not gonna sit there by myself. So it's kind of I throw that as a joke. Oh, you know, as soon as he starts playing, I gotta get out of here. But it's just like I'm not gonna sit there by myself, and I'm not gonna go and sit at the stage. You know, I've talked about this so many times. Like I'm not gonna do that like Brian wants me to do. You know what I mean? But so yeah, it's fight night tonight, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to some fucking salad, dude. That salad. Listen, they don't pay me, but I haven't eaten anything there that is bad. I swear. I can't even remember what it was. I had a sandwich one. It was fucking delicious. I've had the fries. The fries are so good. Wings used to be my shit. We used to tear some fucking wings down, like a 12er. I used to eat a 12er. And now it's a salad. I go in there and buffalo chicken fucking salad. Whew, slap your grandma, dude. That's what I'm talking about. It's so good. So I look forward to that. I'm like, ooh, let's go there. Some mango cards, some fucking orange Julius's, and some salads. Fuck yeah. So yeah, so that'll be tonight. I'm excited about that. I don't know if I should take the bike. I don't know if I should take the truck. The trucks needs tires. Trucks needs tire, but I don't have $3,000. So if you guys like what I do, tip me. Also, speaking of, I don't have money. Your boy finally after, we're talking about what, 2.5 years that I got divorced. I'm finally getting a home. I'm getting my own place. I'm getting my own townhome for now. I'm excited about this. I am under contract as we speak. What you call me? Just kidding. And I'm excited about this also. It has to be. This is, and I think because I've done it before, right? But I did it with the ex-wife. I think this is such a like a big deal for me because I'm doing it alone. I'm doing it all by myself. I have to, get all the paperwork and get the money for this and the money for that, and I gotta make sure in 2 weeks I gotta get out of work to go sign, get my keys. I mean, it's all excited, but the place itself, like I've been there a few times now just to. We did an inspection. We went and saw it. Well, then we went and saw it again. We went and did the. I put it on my stories. You guys must have seen it. I have those videos, so I might make a video with them. But I had my friend Marley, whom I've known Marley for many years. She used to be a bartender at the club that I was a waiter for. And the last time that I posted a picture of her, I was trying to start looking for a home, and I said, "This is my friend. I'm known him for." I said something amongst the words of, "This is my friend. I've known him for years, but I think it's time to." What did I say? I think it's time to take things seriously. And I was talking about buying a place. This is about a year and a half ago. I was talking about buying a place, and I think how I worded it. Everybody thought that I was getting married or I was getting into a relationship, and everybody's like, "Oh, congratulations, man!" And I was like, "What is going on?" And then I think one of my friends, shout out to you, my friend, if you're listening, he was like, "Oh man, you're settling down or something like that." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, this girl, where'd you find her?" I'm like, "Oh no, dude, she's my realtor. Like, what the fuck?" I'm like, I said, I'm taking things seriously. I said, I need to find me a fucking place, and she's gonna help me. So Marley has helped me a lot. She helped me buy the house that I bought before. She helped the ex-wife of me to sell it. I think she helped my mom with the last place she lived in, and she also helped them to sell it. I think my mom's house, when she was in West Valley, she sold it through her. So the family has worked with her for a while now, and and so yeah, it was kind of. It's kind of cool. The fact that I've known her for years, and then she gets to be my realtor, and again, dude, I'm not a person who does this every day, right? So everything is so new to me. I'm like, listen, you have to dumb things down for me. That's my slogan for the rest of my life. Hey, just dumb it down for me. I want to get that tattoo on my chest. And she's like, she's been guiding me every step of the way. And then she's like, hey, so this means this, and this means you have to do this for us in order for us to do this for you. And this is that part that you need to go through, and this is this part you need to read. So step by step, she's guiding me through all this stuff, which I cannot appreciate more. But all this to say that I'm under contract. I should sign here in the next 2 weeks. The truck fits. So far, I do have to figure out a way. I'm hoping that I can raise the garage door a little more, or because right now we kind of touch with one of the antennas that I have on my roof, and also I don't have tires, so I'm afraid that if I buy tires, it's gonna make the truck that much higher that it's gonna be something worse. I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's just technicalities. That's just little minor details. I can always, get smaller tires, like a Golf, like a Volkswagen Jetta, or whatever. But yeah. So this is good for me. I get to have my own place. Obviously, I have plans for the future with this place. This is not my forever home, and that took me a minute to realize, right? It took me a minute to be like, I waited for so long because I couldn't afford the house that I want. And there was a few people, shout out to my mother, man. I mothers know best. She's like, don't wait. And unfortunately I waited. But I'm not waiting anymore. I'm like, listen, if I don't do it right now, it's just gonna get worse. So we need to get going on something. So we found a place. It was the first place that we saw. The first place that we went and saw, and and I mean, to say that I'm excited is you guys can't even comprehend what I'm trying to say. But it gets to be my place, and it gets to be, and the plan is to keep it forever, or for as long as I can. Not necessarily that I'll live in it, but I'm gonna end up reading Heidi McNulty's book, if you know what I mean, if you remember what that was all about. So, yeah, so that's the plan, and that's all I gotta say, man. I just stopped by. I came to pay rent, and I figured I would put this together. I had some people in mind for this week, and then they say, well, how about, can we move that for next week? I'm like, I guess. So we'll see how that happens. But yeah, so that's basically what I've been going through since the last time you and I talked, with nobody to interrupt us other than the damn drums outside. But yeah, and that's it. That's it. Thank you so much. I cannot express the gratitude that I feel in my heart and in my genitals when I want to say thank you so much to the people that are still listening, to the people that still reach out, to the people that I've gotten some of my colleagues to say, hey, good job on that episode. I'm like, hey, that was awesome. So that means the best for me when people that do what I do gets to reach out and say, dude, good job on that one, or you killed it on this. Like, that feels amazing. And also the people that they get to reach, people that I don't know, they get to reach out and then say like, hey, thank you so much, or just like the episode, or like the clips that we make. So I appreciate that. One of the times, I think I don't know if I mentioned it here, I went to the jazz games, one of the last jazz games, or I think it was the last jazz game here with my little brother. And I saw a couple friends / fans of the show, and they're like, hey, we you know who you are if you say that you listen to as much as you say you do. And shout out to them. They're like, hey, listen, man, we may have lost Justin, but we still listen, and we still fans, and that means a lot. I know them through Justin, but it's and that's about as far as we go. But I know who they are. But to the fact that they go out of their way to be like, hey, just like, hey, I mean, I recognized them, like, holy shit, and I went and shook their hands and stuff, and so we're like, hey, we still listen, dude, we still listen. And so there's a few people out there like that I cannot express how you guys make me feel. So thank you so much for that. And as usual, as you guys hear me say all the time, you can catch this show at How Did It Get So Good on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. By the way, I got a message from somebody from Facebook team, and they said something like, your post or your episode, something like that, crosses the guidelines of whatever, please reach out to us. And I was like, and I tried, and the link that they gave me, it gets me to a dead end. So, hey, dude, if it's true or not, whatever. People know where to see the clips. People know where to listen to the pod. So if Facebook doesn't want to have a house for us, it's fine, dude. It's fine, dude. But once again, if you want to catch this show, check it out. How Did It Get So Good? Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also watch me and all the stupid shit that I do on Ange Severa on Instagram, Angel Severa on Facebook. That's my last name. That's right, Cervera. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for clicking play. Thank you so much for hitting download. Thank you so much for following us and MySpace and all that stuff and YahooSingles.com. And thank you so much. Until next time, hopefully somebody will come and sit down with me. I'm going to make that happen. I don't know who, but we'll figure it out. Until next time, this has been How Did It Get So Good? Thank you.